Good morning, it's Gina from Quiet Life Homestead. We're gonna take a quick tour of the garden spaces that we're getting set up, and we're gonna take kind of a little look at the various lighting. It's 11:30 in the morning, and so this is our first time in spring in this house, and so we're going to check the various areas and see what kind of lighting, and we'll do it again probably around 2 o'clock just so we can see where the sun. It's a good day for it. I've got some direct sun. It's been raining all morning, but I'm going to turn you around and show you where we've got to grow today. Okay, so the first growing area is going to be more like a quick kitchen garden. So in this area there will be herbs. I've got my green stalks here, and so I'll be able to do, I think I'm planning to do all greens, lettuces, herbs, and possibly some strawberries. We're going to try strawberries on these flower pots here. I've got like 25 bare roots coming in just a few days, and so I will just take those and plant them up and kind of distribute them throughout the different growing spaces. So green stalks. Then we've got the terracotta pots, and I'm not sure exactly. I think we maybe do like lettuces and spinaches, and stuff like that. I'm going to try carrots in this tall planter here. That's not getting any sunlight at all. I think for the morning, the house is going to really cast a shadow on this side of the deck. So I'm not really looking for that to be much growing space. We sort of have it here, so that's great. We'll come back and check that because the sun is behind a cloud now, but it looks like we're getting a little bit of sun here so far. Now the next area is one I don't have to plant. This should be perennial. This is all echinacea. All of this stuff is planted. It should be coming back this year, and I have seeds if it doesn't. But you can see that we're starting to get, I don't think I'm going to be adding anything to this bed this year because I really want to just see what grows here. I'm going to be cutting down this pampas grass and just kind of, this is all the old echinacea coneflower, and I'm not sure if it grows on the old cane or what we've got going on there, so I'll probably be cleaning up some of this stuff. But these are rose hips, I think, and that looks like it's budding out, starting to come back to life. This is all pampas grass, so and since that does a lot of shading for the pool, like screenage, then we're probably not going to take that out. Oh good, okay, sun's coming out. Let's take a look. Wow, I mean, when the sun is shining, this is all pretty much direct sun. There is nothing blocking this area, which is great. Now, I thought about putting some things here. If I do, it's going to be very dappled. This flowers out in the summer. This is a butterfly tree, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So I may not do anything here, just set up some chairs and enjoy. We've got some, I have no idea, maybe bulbs of some sort. Could be iris. Don't think it's daffodils because those are already out. Okay, here's the other thing I want to see. The sun is shining on the entire area that's going to be the garden, which is just over that fence. Now, since our last garden tour, which was last summer, just to check the irrigation, it's unbelievably wet, the yard. This is the trail that the water from our house naturally flows down during a big rain. And they already had this bed here. And so I added these beds that we brought with us. And so this is going to be a tea garden. And we're going to be planting some teas and some stevia, maybe some medicinals. This is a rose bush. I do need to trim this back. But you can see that this garden area wowzers, is going to get full sun. Now, the one thing hampering that is this tree here, and that's already on the books to go. When we decided to move the garden, we had to sacrifice that tree, unfortunately. It's very pretty. It buds out nice and pink. And I am sad. If I had the ability to move it somewhere, I probably would, but I don't. And we'll be planting extra trees this year, so we're going to let that one go. But this is going to be a nice bed that will get full sun here. And I'm planning on doing strawberries either in gutters or in bags along this wall, and potentially right here along this wall as well. And we can just kind of look down there and see the shadow being cast by that tree. Otherwise, if that tree's not there, all the garden beds we're planting, they're going to be coming out this way. I've got 6 beds. I'm going to try to maybe build one today, but they're going to be coming out this way. So you'll basically be walking down an aisle, and I have 6 by 3 2-foot raised beds, and they're going to be metal, so we can take them when we leave, if and when we leave. I hope we never do leave. Over here is going to be phase 2 of the garden. I don't know if we'll get to this year, but we will be taking out this tree, and when we do, we'll be cleaning up everything that's in here. None of it is vegetables or any sort of edibles. And so I would like to use this as another potential edible space. Again, this may be a fall garden. It may end up being, next year. We're just going to have to wait and see, because potentially all of this, we're starting the garden in phases. This year I feel like I can tackle just this use space here, but then it's eventually going to be all of this. We don't actually use the fire pit over there. We're thinking about making a fire pit area over at the pool over in the corner there. And so this isn't really going to be a place that's utilized, and it has a lot of really good space. Got some things coming back in the pots that were left for us, which is very exciting. They're starting to green up, so I probably won't add anything at all to this, but eventually, if I decide that I need more space for growing edibles, I will be popping some edibles in here. I certainly can add pots, and I'm going to have a bunch of 10-gallon grow bags, and I will be able to just kind of pop those in here and there. And this might be a good place to, especially up on these little tables, pop a couple grow bags with some things. The fire pit, unfortunately, the stones are stacked and glued together with like a construction adhesive. So rather than move this, we're going to fill this in with dirt and make this a raised bed. So this guy is empty-ish, so we're gonna plant this one up. This will probably be something like this may end up being the garlic, and it's something that I really just don't want taking up extra space in other parts of the garden. So you can really see how much sun we're getting. This is great. This is going to be the new chicken coop. This is an empty coop right now, and we've talked about that before. Our chickens roost in the barn, which is down over there in the red roof. We will be getting a new flock of chickens May 22nd. So this will be before the chickens come. We hope to have ducks, and we're going to brood the ducks in here and then get them settled over at the pond. So got a lot of projects coming now. I was told that this was the place where the previous owner had her garden. And this is an excellent place. This is maybe phase 3 where we start doing raised beds out here. But for this year, we're going to see how things go. This is a little more exposed to the road, as you can see. I don't have irrigation set up over here, which I do in the U-shaped garden. But over there, we can see the pink. Those are our peach trees blossoming. Very exciting. The green trees in front of them are the pear trees blossoming. And then I do have a bunch of apples planted, which are doing nothing. And the figs aren't doing anything either. You can kind of get a glimpse, and I'm standing on the soggiest soil, but you can see where the water from across the street comes down into the side of the road, and you can see how much water goes through. This is about 2 or 3 acres over here. It is owned by our neighbor, but the owner of this house used to let her donkey and horse graze over there. So if we ever get a cow, we would definitely be able to use this lot to graze. So that's exciting. But we also have plenty of grass over by the pond area, which is our property. So between the two, we certainly could have a larger animal. All right, you can kind of see here, were it not for this tree, we definitely would be getting full sun. I think this is going to be a pretty good setup, and I'm excited to get started. I do have a couple of things in the greenhouse and a couple of things in the house. If I just, you can maybe hear, it is slogging wet. This is not great draining soil, and so raised beds are really, I think, going to be the best solution. We do have some strawberries in the greenhouse. They've been planted in the house, and they were under grow lights. Nice and warm in here, actually. And you can see it's already warm enough for the automatic vent to be deployed. Looks like they got a little bit of water, so we'll just empty that. I think that sometimes the water, especially if it's warm and raining, the water will just collect in here. So you're gonna have to be careful about that. But yeah, I might be putting some strawberries in there and some little extra herbs and stuff. These little towers are just Dollar Tree towers. I have not seen them there this year, which I'm super bummed about. All right, I know I need to start brassicas. I'm not sure if I'm gonna just start them here in the greenhouse. I feel like it's getting warm enough that we can kind of not start anything else in the house. The house has plenty of things in it right now that are still under grow lights, and we got the greenhouse, so we wouldn't have to rely on starting seeds inside. I'll see if I can do this one-handed. Put them back where they were, and yes, it was successful. There they are. Let's see, what else are we gonna do? I'm gonna pot up some of the brassicas and all that kind of stuff. I've got pots out here that I can use, and I've got some winter sowing containers. I'm just gonna cut those in half and kind of do a little bit of a winter sow. I've got all my vinegar jugs I've been saving, because I think I'm gonna just put them in here and let them kind of just do their thing, like start when they start, and hands-off approach. We've also got another problem that I can see. New chickens will be literally right here. I've got a huge fire ant hill that we're working on destroying, but that's got to go. But this morning I saw one of our chickens from the barn. She was actually up here, and then she jumped down into this coop area and she was exploring, which is totally fine. But when we have a garden here, I'm not going to want her, who has been hatched here on the homestead, not going to want her to have access to the garden. And all of the chickens, they roost up in the barn, and so they fly. So we can't clip their wings. They have been known every once in a while to cross this fence here. Very rarely. We never see them in the pool area, but they cross this fence and get into that other section over there. Anyway, she's not as old as the rest of them. She doesn't know the rules. So she was just out here exploring on her own. And I think the system that I've kind of come up with is I'm going to set a motion. You can see how much water is on the ground. It's an incredible amount of water. I'm going to set a motion sensitive, what do you call it? Motion activated sprinkler. Thank you. And that's to deter cats, pests, deer, anything. So hopefully my idea is that it'll just, get this whole area here, and when it sees anything coming in, it'll just start spraying, and it's supposed to scare